So I feel incredibly blessed and lucky that you were willing to come on to this edition of the Front and Center, which is a publication for the Commercial Break, the official publication for the AACFB. And with us today, we have Teresa Cranney, formerly known as Teresa Thacker, which we're going to hear a little bit about that life change. I'm hoping when we talk about, tell us a little bit about you personally so we can get to know you. You're currently at American Financial Partners and you're the president-elect for the AACFB. So thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for asking me, Leslie.
Yeah, you bet, you bet. So let's just start out with what we want to know about you personally, because I know a lot of people in the industry have worked with you in your capacity with American Financial Partners and your history in the industry. But tell us what's going on with you as an individual. What would we know about you if we were your neighbor or your best friend?
So I grew up on a farm in Idaho. All my life working out there, picking rock, potatoes, driving truck even. I got married when I was pretty young. I was 20 years old when I got married, and I had 4 children and then was divorced. So about 11 years later, I finally met a pretty great guy. So that's why I'm now Cranney. It was a pretty exciting year last year. After 6 years of dating, he finally asked me, but it was pretty neat. And he's such a great guy and just fits in well with our family. But so I'm just a little Idaho girl. That's why I'm surprised that I'm here talking with you right now. It's a little bit of a shock. Or, on the board for the AACFB, that was also a shock for me, but exciting, and I'm so honored to do it. I love being on the board.
Well, I know I love being on the board with you, and I have enjoyed every moment, and you're incredible. You bring so much to the table. So you might feel lucky to be doing those things, but I know, speaking for the board, we're lucky to have you. And I think any member of the AACFB would feel the same. And congratulations on your new marriage. That's a blessing. I'm so happy to hear that for you.
Thank you.
So what is y'all's favorite thing to do? So Idaho, I get it. I grew up in the country on a farm, but in Texas. So what do you guys do there that's fun that you would say is your favorite pastime?
Probably what everyone would think of a farm girl from Idaho. We love to hunt. We love to fly fish. Jake, that's my husband, is amazing at fly fishing, and he really got me into that. And that's my favorite time to be out in the mountains, fishing and not thinking of anything else. So that's probably our number one. If we can get away, we just head to the mountains and fish, and no service out there. That's heaven for me.
Disconnect a little bit, right?
Oh yeah,
I
sure.
think that's heaven for everybody. For sure. That sounds amazing. I spent some time in Colorado, but I don't know of anyone who fishes up here, but I know just being up in the mountains is an amazing feeling.
Oh yeah.
So I bet fishing, while you're up in the mountains is beautiful, beautiful. So that's amazing. So American Financial Partners, tell us about that, and maybe a little bit of history for someone who hasn't worked with you in the AACFB.
Sure. I was initially with Brahma Lending, and I was there for almost 9 years. And when I first started, it was making cold calls, getting customers. We worked deals from front to back. And then about 4 years in, we decided to have one person submit every deal that came in. So, we have sales guys getting deals in. They would hand me the file. I would work with the lenders, get approvals, get docs, and yeah, do all of that. And it was such a good thing for me. I had already, I had sticky notes all over my little cubicle, and tried really hard to learn what each lender likes, how they want deals submitted, how they want doc requests done, how, what they're looking for. And that's something that I really jumped into, which is crazy because before that job, I was a stay-at-home mom and then a waitress when I needed to go to work. So I had no confidence in knowing anything about, how to get someone financed. So it was, I shocked myself and how interested it would be, or how interested I would be into, finding out how to make this work. And I love it. When I started going to the conferences and meeting these lenders that I was working with, it's just amazing. You can't beat that, meeting in person. So
Yeah, you were hooked. That's what I'm hearing.
yeah, for sure.
Nice.
So for almost 9 years with Brahma, and then I got a call from American Financial Partners, and they asked if I would be interested in taking this position, and it's been great. It's been so crazy, here in Idaho, we were just everything on paper, old school, and now I'm learning so many new programs, and it's a good crazy, but
Yeah.
it's a lot. And I am finally getting into it, and I love it so much. Everyone there is so great. So great to
Yeah.
work with.
It makes for a great time to have a good team that you love working with, and then they become your family, right? The entire institution of alternative lending and leasing and finance, especially within the AACFB, is like a big family. But then you have your smaller family, which is a company that you can call home, right?
Definitely.
That becomes that place that you really can plug into, and you work towards these similar goals. So I'm so glad to hear that for you. You have a lot going for you right now.
Yeah, I feel it's unbelievable, really.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah. Isn't it neat to think that, you and I could have talked on the phone 12 times in the past couple of months on something, but never taken the time to get to know what was going on behind the scenes. The fact that you're getting married, or that you've gotten married, that you might have been just fly fishing or whatever. And so we take for granted that the other people on the other end of the phone are so diverse, and they're so layered. They have so many things, just like what you're saying, and we don't take the time to get to know people. So that's one of the things that this podcast is about. So I'm glad that, again, that we're getting to do that with you, and that we get to do that with several people within the AACFB. Another way to do that, we're going to spin off, is the conferences, and one is coming up, right? So tell me about it, and what makes you excited about those. I mean, I just heard a little bit about it. You said the conferences was what hooked you into finance. So we have one coming up soon.
Yeah, I'm, just in the background learning what each lender, wants just off of paper, or information that they send to you is great, and you can do most of it. But when I got to go to my first conference in Memphis, Tennessee, it was so crazy when I got to meet each of these people I've been talking to for years in person, and what you can learn there. It's so different. And I feel like when you get to make that connection, it becomes more real, and then they are actually calling me to see, hey, how can we make this relationship work? And I just felt like, man, you can't beat that. I'm not a no name anymore. They know who I am, and they want my business, and it just made such a difference in everything that we did. So it I recommend the conferences for everyone. At least once a year, go meet everybody and meet these lenders in person, these people that you're working with. You find out more about, what they like to see than just, the information that they send out to you. You'll find out more of what they want, how you can make things easier with each other. And I feel like they fight harder to get your business and get your deals approved once they know you in person. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like it is. I feel like they want your business, and they come to you for that.
It does add a level of validity or substance to any company when they show up and there's a presence at a professional conference, right? So you can jump in and you can be a broker, but if you've not ever attended a professional conference, or an AACFB expo, then you don't seem to have the same and that doesn't mean that you're not. It's all about, like you said, it's just kind of like this feeling that you get when people get about you, when you're able to be seen and you're able to have a presence. And the level of information that you can get from people when you are talking face to face is substantially deeper. I found that to be true as well. Not just all of those great things, but just having fun. Like you said, you just had fun. And how many people can say out there in the world that they're just having fun making money? I mean, we do, but not many people get to. I think we take it for granted, you know?
Hey, you get them out to karaoke with you, and it's a good relationship.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. That's awesome. Well, good. Well, so we have the one coming up in Irvine pretty quickly. And for anyone who's seeing this for any of the conferences in the future, we typically have conferences on both sides, on the East Coast and the West Coast, so that we try to make it as accessible as possible. And then they're always filled with great information, but also great fun. Lenders, brokers, service companies, all coming together to kind of make every single person a little bit more successful. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in the one upcoming. And I guess to round us out, I have only one more question for you as the president-elect of the AACFB. What are you excited about in the coming year for AACFB? What do you see happening? What do you see yourself being a part of that's really going to get you excited, and that we should be excited about too for AACFB specifically?
Gosh, I'm excited to be president. I'm nervous, and I'm also really sad because I'm not ready to leave the board yet. And I've got a couple of years, but man, we have such a great board for the AACFB. We really do. A lot of common sense thinkers, and they really look into it. What I'm excited about is I'm hoping this year we can bring on more brokers too. We have a lot of funding partners, and we can always take them on. I love, the more the merrier. But I'm hoping we can start adding more brokers as well. And then really get them out to conferences. Our last conference, we had a great conference in Las Vegas. It was so full and felt so good. Just the energy there was so great.
But you're talking about what you're excited about this coming year for the AACFB being the president-elect. And you said that you had such great board members.
We do.
Accolades.
I love our board. I mean, I've been on for a few years now, and it's, I feel like there's been some opposition, and that's good. That's good to have opinions, people seeing all sides. But I feel like we have a great board that each person, looks at both sides themselves, and we're trying to figure it out, work really hard on everything we do. And that's another thing with the conferences. I don't know if everyone knows how much work is put into finding the perfect place to go, but when we've been to some pretty neat hotels and had, great service and just really enjoyed it. But I was talking about Las Vegas. It was such a good feeling there with everything, with the women's luncheon. It was amazing. It was massive, and it just felt good, and everything felt good. All of the classes, every gathering that we had. And I look forward to that. I hope that we can continue to bring that many people out, and just keep building those numbers. We need to get more brokers in with the AACFB, and I hope that we can push for that this year and find some other ways to do that.
Absolutely. I think that is going to be one of the goals of the board, but also just of the group that consists of the AACFB. Hopefully more brokers will educate other brokers on what the benefits are and what they have been for them, right? Which is one way to grow the group of brokers in the AACFB. And there is power in numbers. There's power in a family and groups. And when we have a large number of people coming together and saying, this is what we do, and this is how we want things to operate, this is how we want to be better, and everybody can work as a unified force for that, then a lot more gets done. You're really not going to get a whole lot done, especially if you're talking about a wide scale change or a wide scale bit of information or education that needs to happen in the industry at large. You're not going to get that just being one individual out there, in the entire United States or in the entire state even that you're in. You're just not going to be able to make much of a change, but the AACFB provides that platform. And the more that we have, the stronger that platform can become. And that's going to really mean a lot, I think, in the future when we are trying to push for some of the benefits that we want to see brokers and lenders have as the economy and everything changes, as the landscape of finance changes, because it constantly is.
I think that's something else, for brokers, it's such a good organization to be a part of, because you do find friends there, and it's not like, we're competing against each other either. We want to help each other, but we also back brokers up too. It's a broker organization run by brokers. So, we try to take steps to protect you as much as we can. And I think that is huge to be a part of as a broker.
Yeah, you need that support from time to time, sometimes several times if it's a really bad year, but you might need that support from time to time.
Yes.
Even if it is just someone else to listen and go, well, this would seem pretty typical for this type of scenario. And then you're like, oh, darn it, that's not what I wanted to hear. But now I can quit wasting my time on fighting that battle and move to something else. So I agree with you. There's all kinds of benefits that are hard to describe when you're just talking about it, but then when you're in the industry and you're part of the AACFB, you experience it, and then you realize how invaluable it is. And obviously we're always looking for volunteers, so anyone who wants to volunteer for anything, just reach out to Teresa.
I guess they will be pretty soon, so
that's right.
We have lots of committees.
That's right, we do. We have lots of committees and lots of open places for people to volunteer. We have a lot of great volunteers too, but I always like to welcome people to the stage, say, hey, if you want to be a part of something and get involved, volunteering is a great way to do it. So in anything, but especially AACFB. But is there anything you'd like to say before we say goodbye and send you virtual hugs? Is there anything you wanted to add that you'd want anyone watching the video, but specifically the AACFB members or to-be members, to know?
I think just to go, add on to what we were just talking about, especially if you are new to being a broker, the problems that you're having, everyone else has had those problems. You're not alone. And, that's something that you can take to anyone in our association too. And it just helps you get through everything a little bit easier, because we all learned by making mistakes, and it's just kind of gives you someone to talk to. And there's hundreds of us. So we'd love to help that. I guess it just goes back to that family thing. We feel like that. We're all close. We can all go to each other, and we love to get together. So that's what I'm looking forward to, seeing you guys at the next conference. I hope it's really great. And I know Monica puts so much work into everything, and it is great. She's amazing, but it's exciting to get to see everyone, and I look forward to that. Yeah,
and if you see Teresa, go up and say hi, because now you know who she is. And schedule a karaoke night.
Yeah, come hang with me.
Not hard. Yeah. Thank you so much, Teresa. I love it. I can't wait to talk to you on the next board meeting. I can't wait to see you at the next conference and give you a big hug. And I know everybody else will feel the same. So thanks for taking your time to share a little bit about you. I know it's hard to take time out of your day.
Well, I appreciate you asking me. It's a real honor. Thank you.
Thank you so much.